There's this 17 over there. Is that the one we were replacing? That should be right here. That was switch around. And the sound they're not waiting.
Is this live?
Wait. Hello world.
Hello, world.
Yes, I'm actually a couple of flyers. I'm running to flyers like that.
Y'all have three over here? Okay. Let's see. Okay, awesome. And then, okay, awesome. Thank you.
This is the second charger I lose last week.
I think I lost my earbuds. Maybe that's the sign to get AirPods now.
You should listen, they're so clean. They're like life hacks.
Maybe that's the sign.
They're so clean.
Back to the but I've lost mine. They were in my car. Like I had them. I took them Saturday morning. And I think I left them in my car. And now I've
They're fire. Listen. Best investment I've made. Like, okay.
Every Saturday.
A little exaggeration, but they're just like, play your favorite song. What's the song you listen to?
I used in the AirPods forever.
Fire, like when you're watching classes.
I need to.
Like clean.
Yeah, I actually borrowed one of my friends' colors. This is actually. I feel like if it were me, like, that would be like the one thing that I would wish. Did you buy the one here?
Did I get it wet?
No, CLA, just get an idea. CLA State.
Alright, do I start with open forum? Would anybody like to utilize open forum?
Hey guys, my name is Lauren Bradford and I'm a study youth 2019. And so one of the things that I did as part of my year was work on my platform. And so my platform is about unplugging and not being on your phone so much and just having these interpersonal relationships outside of our classes. And so the dining office actually reached out to me and has been collaborating with me all last semester. And we've created this thing called the Auburn Family Table. And so basically it'll be in all the dining halls, like once a month we'll have Auburn Family Table nights. And there are these big family-style tables with these baskets in the middle of them. And you place your phone in the basket and just like talk to people around you if you don't know them over mealtime. And so we're really excited about it because I think there's something special about cultivating connection, especially with like freshmen who maybe don't know each other and use their phones as safety in the dining halls because they don't know anyone there. So we're having these kickoff nights called Auburn Family Table, and the first kickoff night is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. in Village Dining. So I would love to see you guys there, especially since all of y'all are so looked up to and such leaders on campus. I think it'd be really special for all of the students to see y'all there. And so it's just tomorrow night at 6 p.m. in Village Dining. Just come grab dinner with us and unplug. So yeah, thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, hey, I'm Julia Dixon. I'm the director of facilities projects for Cabinet. So Dr. Queen, she's a professor on campus. She's kind of in charge of the majority of the learning spaces across campus, and so she is implementing a proposal to put better chairs in the Haley Center. They're from the 1960s, and also trying to figure out better chairs we can put to the ACLC, which is kind of going to be the new like learning space on campus. So October 7th through 9th and 14th through 16th, there's going to be 3 different models of chairs set up in the Coliseum in room 2033A, and then in the Haley Center in the LSC public space, 3400 quadrant. So it's going to be opportunities for us to come and try out the different chairs we can put into the Haley Center and potentially the ACLC. And there's going to be a QR code on the chairs. You can take a survey and link up to your information so that you can get feedback. So there's going to be email on AU this week, and we'll send it out into this week's SGA as well. But,
Hey y'all, I'm Andrew Huntley. It's nice to meet y'all. Just kidding. I'm kind of taking off my pro temp hat and putting on my sorority president hat. So for those of you that don't know, I'm actually president of the historically Black Greek letter sorority on campus in Alpha Alpha. It's actually the first Black Greek letter sorority to ever exist. So super proud of that history. And as a part of that role, I've kind of been pulled into a team of Black leaders on campus to start to promote some events for Black Alumni Weekend coming up. So if you're not familiar with that, that is actually happening this weekend. Events are happening Thursday through Sunday. So lots of different things going on. Lots of Black alumni will be in town. Just like come together as one to celebrate like all the things they've accomplished and what students are kind of doing here now. So one thing that's happening on Thursday, which I want to bring to your attention, is this event. So it is actually going to be a networking panel of Black alumni, but anybody, of course, is welcome to attend. It actually kind of falls during Senate Exec's normal meeting time. So I was so thankful for Senate Exec to actually be willing to move the meeting time to Wednesday at 7 a.m. so that we can actually all be in attendance at this event. So it's something that we really think is super important. We have all kind of Black alumni coming, 2 of which happen to be alumni of my sorority, so really proud of that too. And do any of y'all watch Grey's Anatomy? A couple, yeah, pretty popular show. The preacher in Grey's Anatomy is actually on this panel and went to Auburn. So lots of really cool, amazing people doing amazing things in their profession. And like in the title is a networking event. So the panel's going to kind of be from 6 to 7, and then from 7 to 8 is going to be a reception to follow. Food will be provided, and it's great too because we have handpicked exactly what's going to be there to give you a chance to network with some of these people. So if you want to bring your resume, you're more than welcome to do that. But highly going to encourage that y'all come to this event, and I've got a flyer if y'all are interested in that as well. Does anybody have any questions about that? All right. Oh, yes.
Where is it?
It's in the Student Center Ballroom from 6 to 8 on Thursday. And then a couple other things. So there's like Tiger Stomp, which is going to be a big step show that happens on Friday. Yes, really excited about Tiger Stomp. Kappa Chi, my chapter, actually is in the show. So if you want to come and support us, that's awesome. There's going to be a tailgate that happens on Saturday, and then a brunch to follow on Sunday. So that one's about invite only, so sorry y'all can't be there.
Brandon, VP of External Affairs, and I'm just coming out here to remind y'all, and y'all seen some of the stuff we've been posting about water board applications. They're out, they've been going up for a week now, and they'll be closing up next Monday, and we're starting the review process after that. So if any of y'all have any questions, water board is an organization, anywhere from like 25, 35 students that we pick. They go and talk to legislators, learn about budgeting issues, talk to legislators about needs that we see on our campus. Simple examples, if you look around, we've got a lot of construction here, a lot of construction is going on right now, and all that is possible because we've done a really good job about making our needs at Auburn very clear to legislators, and they've met those needs with MEL classrooms, new classrooms coming up that Jenny was talking about earlier. All those things come through budgeting and having those relationships. So we want to be able to make that as strong as possible so we keep getting these new projects, keep getting money, just keep building our relationship at the state level. So if you have any people that you think would be great candidates for it, I know it sounds a little political, but we really have people from all schools and all majors because it lets us talk a little more about need-specific things and not just the normal political talk. So anybody in all y'all schools, anybody that you think is just would love to have that opportunity, tell them about it. We have our marketing all up. Please share that. And on Wednesday, we'll be on the concourse, giving out more information, talking a little more to interested students from 8 to 2. So if you would help out with that, sign-ups are available now. Any other questions? Just let me know. Thank you all. All right, anybody else like to utilize open forum?
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Mann. I'm president of Spectrum, Auburn University's Gay Straight Alliance. Recently, we had our new officer elections, and so I would like to introduce Jacob Stockwell. Stand up.
Alright.
This is our new advocacy chair, and he has also been appointed SGA liaison. So he will be working with people in SGA, probably some of the committees, to help push legislation through or help write legislation, or just keep all of you in the loop about what Spectrum needs and what the Auburn LGBT student body needs. I also like to announce that our meeting this week will be in Student Center 2107 from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Our topic this week will be mental health and mental health resources on campus. And so if anyone would like to come out and hear what resources are available for students who need mental health counseling or need help practicing self-care, this would be great information to provide to your constituents or for yourself if you need it. Thank you.
Anybody else like to utilize open forum? All right, so now we're moving to roll call. Senators, please put in A at this time.
I'll try it one more time. Is anybody's now?
Anybody not working?
I think so.
Okay. Oh, we're good now.
All right, so now the minutes were sent out electronically, and any corrections or adjustments to the minutes? All right, seeing none, they're approved and corrected. So now we're going to move to reports, starting with officers. Okay.
Hey everyone, so it is an exciting week because next week is payday. So I know that you all are as excited as I am. We still need 50 to 70 more people to sign up as volunteers in order for payday to happen. So if you have not already signed up, please sign up for that, as well as encourage people in your respective schools, your friends, and any other organizations you may be part of to sign up for that. My second is just to update y'all on some things going on in the world of athletics. So based on y'all's feedback, we saw a need for more baskets in last game. Those are advocated for, and there were more baskets at each metal detector for students. So thank y'all for y'all's feedback on that. SGA has also advocated the last few years for signage on game days, and we did see that in the last game as well. So that was awesome. So another just FYI for athletics. So day 8, no wait, that's where not so many people are going to. So encourage people who are single online to go that direction. Also athletics, after observing patterns, they opened up half of gate 5 to students. So that's another thing that will help continue to alleviate some of that traffic when going to the stadium. Another thing for you all to be aware of that is not open is organizational block seating content. And so for organizations that do not fill out the contract, unfortunately, you don't participate in block seating. So make sure to write that down. Make sure that your schools are aware of that. Any organization can participate in block seating. So just so y'all are aware, I would love y'all's help in doing that. So thank y'all. Hey y'all, I just wanted to thank y'all so much for participating in Volunteering for Safety Week and participating in Safety Walk. We got some good information about the Safety Walk, and we're going to be taking that to facilities in the next few weeks. So I'll update y'all as the meeting comes with that. The second thing I want to mention is we've had 27 pledge requests, so that is, last time I checked it was 14, so jumping up to 27, that's pretty big. So y'all, please continue encouraging other students to utilize that, and Noah shares some cool statistics at cabinet, but majority of them are actually students with professors or staff members that are not actually their teachers, so it's really showing that students want to have that relationship with other members of our family that they are actually having class with. So furthering those relationships is what that program's for. So that's awesome. And then the third thing was just spoke about the chairs. So that's a great way for us to have input and something that's going to last for a really long time. Like she said, that Healy Center has been here for about 50 years, and we've had the same seats since it was built. So for us to have input on the next 50 years of seats is a really great opportunity. So we'll be sending out the information. She mentioned it, but I'll send it out to y'all so y'all can go try those out, and you can fill out, and I'll be linked and get feedback on the shares. And I have a feeling that she'll take, other students will be there, but I know that if we all go, that's going to be the student feedback that she has to use statistically. So please make sure you do that. Thanks. Hey guys, we've been here in a couple of weeks, so it was good to see you all again. So one thing I'm going to reiterate what Whit said is that we do have lobby board applications out, so definitely encourage your friends and constituents to apply for that. Great organization. So I got my start in SGA as well as many other people, some in this room. Another thing I want to talk on is our answers. Y'all have done a really great job explaining this to your constituents, and we actually have an outreach day this Friday. It's going to be on the Healy Concourse. Family Fridays is going to be going on, so hopefully there's going to be a lot of traffic going by, and the topic that we're focusing on is composting and sustainability, just getting student feedback on how they feel Auburn is doing, what they would like to see seen. So you guys can sign up for that. Olivia's going to get you guys the link for Ruth and Carlos to send to you. And then also, we did this in cabinet today, and we took 5 submissions that I'm going to submit for you. So if there's anything that you guys want to touch on that you feel like is an issue around campus, maybe something you've seen, something you've heard friends talking about, because remember this, like, you guys hear people talking about something, they don't have to submit it. You can submit it with your name and say, hey, I heard someone say this. Does anyone have any like pressing feedback?
I have a question.
Okay.
Is the Adobe, I don't know what that's called, but cloud, downloaded on most university computers? I just know today I heard that they're not on the engineering computers, and they're included with the, if you're a student, but you have to have administrative access to actually download it.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a campus-wide problem or something that's kind of our school.
I know this has been addressed before, I think, but the Panera in RUD, the other night I was in there and I was in line, and they would not take an order at the register for about 25 minutes because they were so backed up. And so I don't know what that solution is, none of that has been brought up, but just the fact that it is really, really slow. And I think it's because there's an influx of online orders and dealing with also all the people in line.
So I know like in the library we can print off like posters if we're going to like a research conference or something. They used to be free for us to print off, and now grad students have to pay to print those off. So just a way to go around.
Okay.
Talking about the media, like resource lab.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've noticed that, I can't speak for other routes, but I've noticed especially that North Ross, the times fluctuate on the app system, and there have been several times where my roommates or I have taken it, and it'll say it'll be there 20 minutes, and then it arrives in 1, or it's late by 30 minutes, and some people are not getting to class in time. And so it's just very unreliable, and there have been times where my roommates have had to sprint to catch the bus.
Okay, if you didn't get to submit yours through me, I want to encourage you guys to like maybe once a week, just like take a iPhone note or a middle note and just submit what you hear, because we really do use that feedback. Really didn't talk about transit a couple of weeks ago, so it really does matter. We want to encourage you guys to do that. Also, there is nothing stopping you guys from holding an outreach day for your college. So if you want to use the Auburn Answers booth, Landon is our resident expert to how to put it up. And so please, like if you want to use it, you want to get feedback from your college, please let me know. We would be more than happy to help you. All right, hey y'all, I'm here to offer a little bit of encouragement when it comes to participating in SGA events. First of all, y'all's priority is to represent the students of your colleges, and we really appreciate all the hard work y'all do for that. But we have a lot of really exciting things going on. For example, on Tuesday, we're going to be on the concourse promoting lobby board, like you just heard about. We have an outreach day on Friday. We have Hay Day coming up, and we had Safety Week last week, so there's just been a lot. And I really want to encourage y'all to take one of your office hours, take some time to sign up for one of those events. It's really important to have y'all's participation, especially as a participant of your college, or representative, excuse me. So quick show of hands, who yet has signed up for a lunch?
Something was odd, or like the teacher that I wanted to go with wasn't on it yet.
Wasn't on it yet? Did you reach out to them and tell them to?
No.
Okay, do you know how to do that? You can come find me after if you don't. But if you look up a staff member, if they're not, they might not be opted in, and it is so easy. I did that. I actually had my personal lunch, and it was wonderful. Went to Foy, it was great, and they weren't opted in, and I sent a quick email, and she said it was so easy. Didn't even have to look at the instructions I sent. So, but that's something that we really advocated for students. So if like y'all aren't participating in it, we can't really expect the general student body to be participating in it. So I really wanted to encourage y'all. My challenge this week is going to be schedule a lunch or sign up for to be a Hay Day volunteer and really just dive in and serve the students through the programs and events we create to do so. So thank you all, and thank you for all your hard work.
Just curious, where do we sign up for lunches?
aub.ie/lunch. Yes.
Yeah, I was just kind of looking on it real quick just to see how streamlined it was, and it's really not coming up on Google search if you just type in Auburn lunch. Is there a way that OIT can streamline that to make it a top priority?
That is a good point, because there's, I noticed when we look it up, there's videos, but for right now, we're just pushing the Aubie link, and we will work with Julian and OIT to maybe make sure that can pop up a little easier.
I just wanted to add something to what Olivia said. All professors now are automatically opted in, whether they're full-time, part-time, whatever. And if it's a staff member, they'll have to opt in, but like Olivia said, it's just a click of a button. But at the beginning of it, there were some staff members, some faculty members who were not because they weren't full-time, so now all faculty members. So try again, and if you still have trouble.
Thank y'all.
Is that everybody? All right, so now we're going to move to reports of colleges. So starting with at large.
Mine at large. Hey everybody, how's it going? So just one little thing, but it being like test week's coming up and all that stuff. I want y'all to remember to really push y'all's constituents that they just built a parking deck like right across the street from the library, and after 5:30, we can park on the second and third levels of that, and so that'll like really ease congestion like in the RVD bed and like in that like parking lot that's across. I don't know what it's called, but like the one that's in front of Cover. So just really talk to y'all's constituents and like your friends, just let them know that they can park over there. Also.
All right, agriculture.
Hawkins Agriculture. So this past weekend, we our ag council traveled to A&M because each year, like their ag council hosts us and like we host them and stuff. So we went there on Thursday, and then on Friday we toured their college of ag and campus as well. So that was really fun. I with them, and they were such great hosts. And then also on Friday we're having like this holiday on Camera Lawn. So going to the college of ag when you come out, it's free. So yeah, it's awesome.
Business.
City Business, same as President. Big announcement on the naming of the graduate business building. It was named Fort Hargrave Hall after the last two deans of the College of Business. Very exciting. Of course, we know Dr. Hargrave now serving as the provost of the university and vice president of academics. And of course, Dr. Horton was the dean before him. So very exciting. As always, if you have any questions about the business school, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We're working actively with our school's council, hoping to have an event here pretty soon with our student body. And I want to remind everybody, as this is kind of related to budget and finance, in the proposed budget, each school council has $500 currently allocated for activities that they can use to engage the student body. So keep that in mind. There's funding there for you to use. Hopefully upon the passage of this, going into the new fiscal year, assuming it stays the same, you'll have $500 to actively engage with your fellow students. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to move PSSB 1909301, the Program Expansion Fund for Student Organizations, to a current order of business.
All right. Motion been made to move this in the current order of business. Is there any debate? All right, seeing none, we'll move to the vote. All those in favor of moving this legislation to the current order of business, please say aye. Click A.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the ayes have it, and this is now a current order of business. All right. Reports, which will go with CADC.
The report.
Okay, COSAM. Education.
Joining in education. The College of Education doesn't have officially anything going on right now, but we do have tomorrow, the 24th, from 9 to 5, there is a blood drive going on Haley Golf Course. So just let y'all constituents know, and we hope to see y'all out there.
Engineering.
No report.
Forestry and wildlife.
No report.
Grad school.
Great grad school. Just a few events that are happening this week that are being put on by the Graduate Student Council to announce. So Wednesday we have our first colloquium, which is like a lunch event. We have a speaker called Dr. Runkle. She's from the libraries, and she will be talking about grad student resources. So if you are even thinking about going to grad school, it's a free lunch. You can go, or if you know people in your college that are in grad school, free to go to that. There's no need to like sign up or anything. You just show up and go. And then also Wednesday night at that's in this student center ballroom. Wednesday night is our Senate meeting for the Graduate Student Council. It's at 7 p.m. in Brown Hall, room 238. So you're welcome to come to that too if you want to see how that's run. It's come as you are dressed, so no need to like dress up or anything. And then finally is the Graduate Student Council has a tailgate this Saturday. It's going to be from 3 to 5 p.m. behind Target Hall. Again, free food and like non-alcoholic drinks there. So feel free to come to those.
All right, human sciences.
Human sciences. So first thing I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, the College of Human Sciences is trying to create a strategic plan for the next 35 years. And so one thing that they're really trying to do is pull feedback from students. So, any students in the College of Human Sciences, please encourage them to attend our focus group that's being held on Thursday, starting at 9 o'clock. It's titled 244. So if you have any constituents in the College of Human Sciences, I know we have one other human sciences senator representing at large. Please encourage those students to come out to that event so they can get student feedback for the strategic plan. Also, I'm currently working on a commendation. So I know that you all know that I've talked about this several times. Dean Hinton, who recently retired back in the spring, was the second longest standing dean at Auburn University. So the Board of Trustees actually did a commendation recognizing her important work for campus back in the spring. But I would really love to do it from students because that's really who she advocated for. That was who her work was about. So I'm actually meeting with our current dean, Dean Hubbard, because she worked with her for 2 decades, so not long at all. Meeting with her on Thursday, kind of start talking about what this commendation would look like, some different things that we want to highlight and how she really served all the students. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple of weeks, and going to reach out to her to see if she can actually come and meet our staff with her. So really exciting stuff. Lastly, we had a human sciences ambassadors meeting tonight, where I was able to use the end of the meeting to start to gather some feedback about reading days. So really excited to submit some Auburn answers regarding that, and also going to pass along that feedback to Sheila and his committee. So academic affairs, y'all can look out for that. That's all from me.
Liberal arts.
Pride's Liberal Arts. This Wednesday, the 25th, we are having College of Liberal Arts O Day. This is going to be on Haley Concourse from 10 to 2. This is a good opportunity for students to voice their concerns, to get to know senators, and to get to know the student council. So if you know anyone in liberal arts, please pass this information along. Thank you.
All right. Pharmacy? Okay. Vet
No.
All right, that's it for colleges. We'll now move into committee reports, starting with academic affairs.
So academic affairs. So we took all the printing feedback we got from 2 weeks ago, and we took it to OIT, and they got back to us with that. So they actually did know that the village printer was gone. So snaps to y'all for bringing that up. If y'all again have any of those printers that were there and they're just missing for some reason, please let me know by email or just coming up to me. So they also let us know that housing is interested in buying printers. So in the future, we might have some options in housing. They're still looking into where they're going to put them and how many of them they're going to get. So they're still looking into that. And then so they gave us an answer about why there's not basically a printer in every building, and it's basically they choose their printers by traffic. But in with some of our feedback, they are changing some of the locations of those printers. So some of those printers in buildings that have been like hidden are kind of coming out into the lobbies now. So I know Big Inner Mouse, wherever those printers were, they're moving those to the lobby. But these next two ones are really big. There were 2 printers in Haley, and one's getting moved into Haley lobby, and one's getting moved into Chem Building lobby. So that's going to make it a lot more accessible for students to get to those printers instead of being behind swap access doors. And we asked OIT about Scantron machines, and they don't know anything about it. So if anyone in the College of Business knows about Scantron machines, that seems like an initiative business took on their own. So if y'all know anything about that, please let me know. Thank you.
All right, budget and finance.
City business, thank you. As you see tonight on our future orders of business, packed out schedule and final budget requests. These will be going through this week. Each representative will go over their particular student activity organization. They'll go over the budget quickly with us this evening. Encourage each and every one of you to actively look at these this week, actively pursue these certain line items that you might have questions about. I can promise you this team is knowledgeable on every line item. They're able to answer any question you might have, and it will be a quick answer that you'll get from them. So please ask us. We're here for a reason. This is over $2 million going towards the student experience and elevating the student experience to a level that makes Auburn what it is. And it would be, in my opinion, wrong for us as senators to not actively pursue this opportunity in a positive way and actively be in pursuit of great questions to ask each and every one of the budget and finance representatives. You'll hear from them tonight. I want to close with kind of on a high note. Big shout out to the fellow travel warriors that went A&M this weekend in the Student Senate. Very exciting time for the university. Great start to the football season. Great start in many of our sports. I'd be remiss not to mention that. And a lot of people having a great time. Let's keep the positivity up. Let's keep it up in athletics, and let's keep it up in enhancing the student experience to be the very best it can be.
Appreciate it. Code of laws.
I don't have too much tonight. I just need to see my committee members after the meeting in regards to rescheduling our meeting this week.
All right, inclusion and diversity.
Osmic COSAM. So our subcommittees have been doing lots of work with their counterparts, and that's interesting. We're also still working on the inclusivity checklist, but we should have something for that coming soon, so stay tuned. And as always, if y'all hear of anybody or know of any groups or people that our committee is failing to represent, please let us know, because that's definitely one of our goals, to make sure everyone is equally represented.
All right, student affairs.
Hey y'all, I would like to move up. I would like to make a motion to move PSSR 1909301, the POW MIH Chair of Honor, from a future order of business to a current order of business. I want to thank the Student Affairs Committee for their hard work that they've devoted on getting this bill to the board. Thank you.
All right, so now we got to vote on that. So motion's been made to move this resolution into the current order of business tonight. Is there any debate? Okay. All right, seeing none, we're now moving to a vote. All those in favor of moving the resolution for the chair of honor into the current order of business, please say aye and click A. Aye. Opposed? And the ayes have it, and the resolution you're voting on tonight. Okay. All right, executive committee.
Thank you, Ms. Knox. So as I kind of already talked about during open forum, just make a note that since that Wednesday at 7 a.m. this week, we're going to be in conference room A. So if you have planned to come to Senate exec, we're going to knock that one-time attendance out. That's where we're going to be this week, and that's the outcome of that. So we want as much participation in the networking event as possible. Second and last thing for me, so I talked about this back in the spring when I ran for president, and that is finding space for all of you to be able to effectively do your office hours within your colleges. I'm a woman of my word. We want to follow up on that, and so over this next week, you can expect a Google form from me, kind of gauging where we are now, to kind of figure out where we can go from here. So kind of questions like, where do you normally do your office hours? What time do you normally do them? Are they regularly scheduled, or does it vary? How do students know about your office hours? Are you posting? A good thing to kind of keep in mind is if you have a freshman in your college, do they know that your office hours exist, and do they know how to access you with those? So those are the kind of questions that we're going to be asking in this Google form. Like I said, you'll have that sometime this week, but please answer those questions like as thoroughly as possible so I can do my best to help you all keep them. So I think it's going to be super beneficial for students if we're able to maximize our efficiency during that time that we have set aside for student senate. So that is all for me.
All right, so now we're moving to special reports, starting with liaison, student veterans.
Jackson Student Veterans. So I got a couple things tonight. First off, I really want to give props to Jakari for the POWMIA chair. It's been about a year now, and he has just been tirelessly working on this. Like, it's amazing. And so seriously, thanks to him and to Carlos and everybody else who helped. So
Stop you there. It was the entire student affairs committee. We couldn't have done it without.
well, all of you are amazing people. So thank you. And second, so I don't know how many of y'all remember this from last year, but the Operation Iron Drug, the hike that we do from the away school to the home school for the 22 district. Well, that is coming up again this year, our second annual, and y'all can hear more about that in the future from me. But for now, I may be tapping into y'all, trying to get some help, just work with me. So thank you.
All right, honors,
No report.
housing.
On our housing, we're just advertising this for risk management and safety. They're having an event on Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30, and it's to promote fire safety and ensure that Auburn students know what to do in case of the unfortunate event of a fire. Yeah, so be there 6:30 at the Haley Center, 2370.
So that is it for reports. We're now moving to the current order of business.
PSSB 19092301, Chapter 200 Code Corrections.
Board Liberal Arts, sorry, I couldn't roll the
Oh,
button.
yeah.
Okay. I didn't, I never received any questions about this, so I'm going to pass this bill straight. Second.
All right, let's move the second to adopt this bill just read. Is there any debate? Seeing none, we're now moving to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Click A. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted.
Missing one.
Yeah, click again real quick if you can.
PSSB 19092302, Chapter 300 Code Corrections.
Argued by Senator Ward.
Board Liberal Arts, I move to pass this bill.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the bill. Is there any debate? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye and click A. Aye. All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it, and this is also adopted. Down.
And someone's stop working.
liberal arts, again, didn't receive any questions, I will pass the bill as written.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the bill. Is there any debate? Seeing no further debate, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Click A. Aye. All opposed? And the ayes have it, and this bill is adopted.
BSSB 19092304, Chapter 9, Code of Corrections.
I move to pass this bill as written.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adopt this bill. No, is up, no screen here to debate. Okay, seeing none, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Click A. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, this bill is adopted.
PSSB 19092305, 2019-2020 Academy Confirmations.
This bill is brought to you by Senator Huntley.
Huntley Human Sciences, I didn't receive any questions about this bill, so I move to pass this bill as written.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt this bill. Then it's read. Is there any debate? Okay, seeing none, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Click A. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, and this is adopted.
PSSB 19092306, titled Next Code of Corrections.
For liberal arts, I move to pass this bill as written.
Okay, it's moved and seconded to adopt the bill. Is there any debate? Seeing none, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Click A. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, and this bill is adopted.
Page of the one more time. Oh, my bad, okay. PSSB 19093001, Program Extension 1 for Student Organizations.
This bill is brought to you by Senator Wagner.
Wagner business. Alright guys, this bill's pretty straightforward. My student activity portfolio is student organization. Basically the way they work is they are the people who give money to all the organizations on Auburn's campus. And so they have a line in their budget called the O Fund. And that fund is really big. It's like $150,000, and it was just increased if y'all approve the budget we approved the other day. That'll be voted on later tonight. But anyways, that budget goes for the full fiscal year, which will end in October. And so right now, the student activity fund is for the program exchange fund for student organizations is for the fact that the O fund is out of money, so no student organizations right now can ask for any money, and so that could be reimbursement for a trip to a conference or anything like that. So basically, they're asking for $15,000 so that they can make it till October. And this increase is not reflected. It's not like we haven't double budgeted for it and the budget we approved. It's just to get them to October, and then they'll be operating back on the terms as if they had started with this money when we come to approve the budgets in a few minutes. So, yep, that's about it. Does anyone have any questions about this or what it's for? James?
City business, forgive me, Red, if you mentioned it, just real quick to mention too, if you're concerned with only a week left, forgive me if I missed you saying it, any money that's not spent over this next week will be unavailable to the organization's fund for the upcoming fiscal year. It will go to the carryover hearings, which will take place October 24th. They can ask to have the money, but if it's not spent or given to an organization with the intent of spending it during the current fiscal year, they will not be able to receive any leftover money from that fund. So I know it might be a pretty big number for a week, but whatever's not spent, they don't get. So, thank you.
Yeah, like Senator City said, they're going to have a hearing, I think, where O Fund or O Board decides if anybody gets money. I think that happens next week sometime, and they might have, they might have $11,000 requested, or they might have $11 requested, and so this is just to cover them to make sure that they can give the organization don't give us money if they need it before this fiscal year ends.
Taylor, Chris, could you clarify the difference between the O Fund and the SAPs and what organizations would exactly be
organization that gets money from SGA that's not necessarily like that big. Like for instance, like I don't know, if there was an underwater basketball club at Auburn, they would get money from the OFA if they wanted it. And so basically, these are all the clubs on Auburn's campus who need money to go to conferences. Like say it's a, I don't know, if there's an ABI club or something like that. If they're gonna go to a conference somewhere, say at a conference in Nashville, and they want to send their president and their vice president, that might be $1,000, and so they would request that here. And so it's basically just so we can pour money into the different organizations on Auburn's campus, because we've got something like 450, maybe even 500. So those different organizations would be getting their money from this fund. And so the O fund specifically is underneath the O organizations board, and the O fund is just one part of their budget that is the total sum of money that these different organizations can request money from. So they have a couple students who sit on that board and approve this money that's requested to them for different organizations. Anyone else?
Okay, so, there's a second on this piece of legislation. It's been moved and seconded to adopt this bill just read. Is there any more debate? Okay, seeing no further debate, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye and click A. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, and this bill is adopted.
PSSR 19093001 POW MIA Chair Honor.
It's brought to you by Mr. Perez.
Hey y'all, I just want to thank y'all again for all the support we've received on getting this resolution put together. The student veterans intend on having this chair installed in Jordan Air Stadium during Ole Miss military appreciation game. The chair has already arrived, and we just want to be as efficient and work as quick as possible. And so if anyone doesn't have any other questions, for the sake of time to be more efficient, I move to pass this bill as it's written. Thank you all.
Okay, it's moved and seconded to.
Wait, I think that Brian had a question.
Bryant business. I was just gonna say, if any of y'all traveled to the Texas A&M game this past weekend, and they had a moment of silence and showed the chair, they had the POW MIA chair showed up on the Jumbotron, and had a moment of silence for that. So I'm really excited for us to potentially be able to share that same tradition on Mondays.
Thank you again, Joe, for working with us and allowing President SGA to take on this institution. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get to my seat quick.
First of all, like, congratulations to this team for pulling together this amazing project. I know this is something that has been in the works, because I was like a part of those conversations last year during my time in the Senate. So super proud of y'all for actually making this happen. One suggestion that I might offer, so with the chain of communication after bills are passed, I think it's really important to include campus partners who've kind of been in the loop on the project, so that they receive that, hey, this is something that students really want. So have you thought about like CCing campus partners on the resolution, so that when this is sent to like President Hughes and Mary Margaret and all those people, they're aware that their students support from that. So like say like Auburn Athletics, like Student Veteran Association, like have you thought about CCing people to get this resolution as well?
I've not thought about that sooner, and I'm so grateful. You know, we're blessed with your knowledge and experience, but I don't see why we shouldn't include them on there. Would you like to make a motion and?
Well, I don't know what all partners were involved, so that would be you and your team.
Okay, well that was athletics and facilities were the other two parties that were involved in getting this included. So I would like a motion to include athletics and facilities.
Okay.
Thank you.
You might just go to the Pearson for the bill. He's got a.
Well, I guess why don't you send it to Don King, Vice President of Center City.
If I may, Sadie Business. At the top of the page, I think we do recognize the Student Veterans Association, seeing as Joe's name is a representative on there. I also think in the presentation, athletics will certainly be recognized, and I think Dr. Gouge does know and will know when this is presented. I'm sure Mr. King and will be very proactive, and if it's not, I just feel that Joe's name being on the top, we do have the representation of student veterans. I think it'll be clear athletics is involved as the chairs go on at Jordan Hare Stadium. I think it's clear that their support is going to be whether they actually adopt the idea that our resolution states. So I think it'll be a two-way partnership, and the adoption by them will show a lot as well. So I don't see an amendment necessarily as something we need for this, and just want to put that in everybody's ear for that point. Thanks.
Yeah. It's a Monday. I'll say, I agree with both Senator Utley and Senator Say, but for the sake of time, and because this is such a time-sensitive matter, I don't have a master list in the back of my head of everyone we've met with. This has been an ongoing year process, so I'd like to keep it as it's written.
To engineering, I mean, if it's been a year process, how time, like, you said the Ole Miss game, that's in November. We're putting it off 1 week to get the following party CC'd on here. Would that make the biggest difference? Because I feel like, if we CC them, then they'll be in the full communication loop. But if we don't CC them, this resolution is going to be out there, but it's not going to be in their hands. So, if we push it 1 week, is there a chance that this might not happen? That's basically what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, no, I'm confident that this is going to happen regardless if it happens tonight or tomorrow. But for the sake of our student veterans who've been waiting on this patiently for over a year, there's no need for us to drag this on any longer. Let's just go ahead and pass this resolution.
Is it a requirement that they have to be listed in the CC for them to get this piece of legislation?
No, it's basically saying it's like it's not straight to them in a way, but like how Senator Huntley brought up the acknowledgement of committing and the work so much so. But CC does directly do that.
Gotcha.
Is there any other debate? So there's no motion being made.
Yes.
So that was it for debate. Was a second? Was there a second?
To vote?
Yeah. So if there was no motion made for the amendment. Senator, you just put her.
You would think I knew this by now. So if we don't pass this, can it be, like, if we vote no because we want it to be CC'd, is that gonna, like, I don't wanna cancel this resolution, but I think that it would be nice to commend the people. Thank you. Man, last time I did this, we went into a recess. Can I make a motion to send this back to the committee to CC the people who have partnered with them on this resolution so they're recognized as well?
There's been a motion made to send this back to committee to further evaluate the resolution. Is there any debate? Is there a second? Senator Sadie.
Sadie Business, again, I feel this is unnecessary. The Student Veterans Association is recognized already. Athletics is going to be recognized, and they're the ones that ordered the chair to go in there. And I think that they'll be very well recognized by the community, by the local news. And I don't think that the resolution is what's going to be seen. I think it's our prisoners of war and those missing in action that we're truly seeing and truly thinking about. And I think all the players that were involved in making this happen were, number one, behind the scenes in a small way, and number two, I think that we've recognized the necessary people, and when it's recognized at the Ole Miss game, athletics is going to be recognized. We're going to have facilities recognized. All the key players will be mentioned, and I think this is the student body saying our support for it. So I don't necessarily see a need to add or table a longer period of time when the bill as written, I believe, gets the job done as the Student Affairs Committee originally intended. Thank you.
There was still a motion made to table this until next week's Senate back committee. Is there any debate on that motion? All right, seeing none, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor of sending this back to committee, please say aye for day. All opposed?
No.
The nays have it.
Yeah, yeah. We don't have it.
Everybody vote again.
Two more, or, well, it's one more. Okay, we're good.
Senator Herman, no,
Sorry, I'll make a motion. Motion to pass this bill as written.
Second. Is there any debate on that motion? Seeing none, we'll now move to a vote. All those in favor of passing this resolution as written, please say aye and click nay.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. This resolution has been passed. All right, so that is all for current orders of business. We're now moving to future orders of business.
PSSB 19093002, programming final budget.
This is brought to you by Senator Strong.
Strong Engineering. So I was assigned to University Programming Council to work with them about their budget, and this is what we came up with. I think this is super reasonable. The treasurer for UPC is super sharp, and wanted to make sure that they didn't request any money that they didn't need. So if you have any questions, I can tell you anything about the price of Pete Davidson to the price of a gallon of Turmeric lemonade. So don't hesitate to email me over the next week and ask me questions you might have.
PSSB 19093003, student organizations final budget request.
It's brought to you by Senator Wagner.
Wagner Business. Like I was talking about earlier, this is the same SAP, student organizations. Essentially, like I said, they're the ones who can give money to all the organizations on Auburn's campus. If you look there, you see they invested roughly around $20,000. The bottom number, the bigger one, that's going to, part of that, I think about $150,000, is the one that funds different organizations on campus. If you have any questions about how that process works, like Sam said, we've got a week, email me, ask me any questions you have, or if you have me right now, I'm happy to answer.
Alright, PSSB 19093004, emerge final budget request.
Brought to you by Senator Reed.
Engineering.
Just a couple things to touch on real quick about Emerge. First of all, Emerge has expanded to include all leadership organizations and development organizations, like the Emerge and leadership organizations. And second of all, 2 years ago when we established Emerge, all of our leadership organizations were cut for them and were replaced by Emerge. So right now we're in the process of rebuilding our leadership organizations so that we can be on par with our peer institutions. So under that we see $26,000 in initiatives on the programs, and those are all new programs that are being brought by Emerge that the Budget and Finance Committee has thoroughly vetted and approved for money policy. I think that's everything. If you have any questions at all about it, please let me know and I'll be glad to talk.
PSSB 19093005, student media final budget request.
It's brought to you by Senator Hill.
President. I was a representative for student
Okay, so I'm representing the service, organizations, and that includes EMC Drive, Alternative Student Rates, Impact, the Big Event, and, they requested a little over $74,000, and as everybody else has said, it brought in the so we reached out to you.
Try this one again.
PSSB 19093007 Student Governance Final Budget Request.
Sponsored by Senator Nunn and Senator Rutland.
Hey, all, none at large. So I was helping out with the Student Government Association budget for the year. The only one, if y'all have any questions, one thing, just to note, their budget did increase a good bit this year. We're trying to move some programs out of the revenue stream and just into like student funding. So that did happen, but if y'all want to talk about that, I can explain exactly what the reason behind it was. But let me know if y'all have anything that y'all know.
Rutland Cat C, I got to work with ISA and PSG. Both of their budgets are very straightforward. ISA had a couple small increases, 20%. PSG had a couple small increases on 20% in a new line item and PES. But they're both just great organizations that are really using their money wisely to promote all the diversity on this campus. If you have any questions, please email, text, or call me.
Well, I mean, I just have a general BNF question. How do these undergraduate student stipends work? Like, do they decide what the stipend's gonna be and then they request that? And how did y'all look over the
So
stipends?
there's a stipend board that handles kind of all that stuff. And so this is just gonna say that's what they were things about all those stuff. So Brad,
Yeah, let me give a little context real quick. So, 3-4 years ago, the SGA president called for the stipend review board, which is spelled out in the code of laws, how it works, to come together and to review all salaried at the time positions in the different student activity organizations. So what a committee did, it's in the code of laws, is evaluate every single position that was receiving a salary at that time according to a rubric that was created in conjunction with Auburn University Human Resources, the same way that they do for staff and faculty on campus. So all those positions were tiered out, and there were different factors that are looked at in determining what score a position receives. For example, problem solving and the amount of administrators that you interact with carries a little more weight than the amount of time maybe that you put into your position. So there are different factors that were considered throughout that process, and that created a tiered system. And then when a position receives a score, it's placed in the tier based on its score, and that determines the stipend that it receives. So it is not up to the student activity organizations how much they pay each of their students in their leadership positions. It's up to the stipend review board that is run by the code of laws.
PSSB 19093008 Student Involvement Administrative Budget Request.
Sponsored by Senator Rutland.
City Business, thank you. As you can see, this is a little bit of a budget you might be unfamiliar with. You'll see one of the biggest expenses for them, a lot of office supplies are used for all of our student activity organizations, from printing to, I mean, you name it, just any office supplies in the student involvement suite, in the student involvement world, any student activity organization, you'll see it's one of the bigger line items I can't read it all without glasses on. So $68,000 towards office expenses, as you can see, staff training, printing and copying, computer leases, telephones that we use, telephones that the advisors use, the biweekly stipends for undergraduate students at $46,000. Those include our student involvement ambassadors and those that help within the involvement suite that you might see sitting at the front desk, helping students on campus get involved. And finally, our programs page, you'll see that the Glomerata pages have all been combined. The technology bank improvements, communications and marketing with the student activity organizations. In particular, student involvement is all encompassed into this programs line items as well. So if you have any questions about these, please let me know. Me Brad would be great people to go to for questions on this. Probably Brad more than myself. Thank you.
Y'all. All right, so that's it for future orders of business. We're now moving to announcements. So just start with me. Thank everybody for helping out for Safety Week last week. Thank y'all for sacrificing a meeting. We don't really get that many, but thank y'all for giving that opportunity for our departments to come out and help. We really appreciate the effort of making that earlier. And also on Thursday, your efforts with school council that was from more collaboration. We can't get enough help with them, so thank y'all for that. Another group I want to thank is Academic Affairs. Thank y'all for coming up today, helping us get set up, did a good job. One of our more efficient setup times that we've had, so thank y'all for that. Look forward to the rest of the semester looking that way. Next thing, so just another reminder, emails, just make sure you're CCing myself and Pearson or whoever the case may be, if your committee chair is involved, whatever that is, just so I can be on the loop. It's something I've learned Pearson has to go through. If I'm emailing somebody and then they approach Pearson about it, he doesn't know, then that doesn't look too well. So just make sure everybody's been doing a pretty good job about it, just a reminder on that. And if something happened that you already sent one, like an FYI, just forwarding it to us, whatever the case may be. So that's that. Next thing, I brought it up to Senate Exec last week, but I'm working on this, finalizing the Senate Liaison confirmation process since we have to get them confirmed by 2/3 of the student senate. So that will be drawn out over this next week, and we're getting feedback from them and the rest of the executive cabinet, so that will help with that process. So you'll be on the move with that very soon. Next is the outreach days that Ashley brought up. So really be able to utilize those if you can. Going out there and being able to advocate and get feedback from your constituents is an easy way to do it. And Auburn Answers is obviously better than it's ever been at this moment. A lot of people know about it, so continue to utilize that. And for my legislation of the week, it's kind of one that was more recent, but it was about the MPHC Legacy Plaza that was passed. The resolution that was passed not too long ago, just basically advocating for the historically black organizations that are on campus. So the only reason I bring that up is because this past Board of Trustees meeting was passed to move to phase 1, which basically means we begin the project. So it's been a long time coming. And that's just something more recent I want to point out to everybody to know that things can move fast if you order the power of the Senate. So that is all for me. So Pearson, got you first.
Hey guys, just want to reintroduce myself real quick for a few people in the room that may not know me. I'm Brad Smith, sort of the Assistant Director of Student Involvement, which means that I get to help work behind the scenes in supporting SGA and UPC, as well as all the different things that student involvement does. And so before we jump into a couple pointers real quick, I just want to express 2 values that I have that are unrelated to what I'm going to share a little bit more about tonight in a second. Number 1, can you guys help me in thanking Pearson real quick? Quite as much time as I used to sharing with you guys and speaking to you guys. A lot of that is because I trust Pearson to really do an incredible job with y'all. So I highly value Pearson's presence with you guys and thank him for that. Second thing I want to express a value in is safety. It's an exciting weekend this past weekend. The football team winning another game. And we got some 95-degree temperatures coming this next Saturday and another evening game. And probably a lot of excitement this week around that, which can also sometimes tempt us not to be quite as safe on game day. So I just want to challenge you guys to be encouraging your friends with practicing those safe habits and behaviors on Saturday, on game day. Bringing in those sealed water bottles or empty water bottles, whichever it is, and having a great game day experience. And most importantly, a safe game day experience. So looking forward to that, but let's keep those things in mind. Tonight, I want to talk to you guys about ethical and personal values. I'll be honest, when I was a student at Auburn a long time ago, I heard somebody speak to these in a lot of different settings, and there were always kind of these big ideas. Yeah, I've got values. My parents gave me values, and that was great. But nobody really made me stop and truly list out and identify my core values that I needed to act upon in all of the settings that I found myself in on a daily basis. So I want to challenge us tonight, for those of you in the room, which is probably a lot of you, that haven't ever sat down and really prioritized because if you have that solidified and clarified in your mind, hopefully it's going to translate to the way that you lead and make you a stronger leader. So if you'll go to the first line real quick, that'd be helpful. So I just want to break down real quick for a lot of you have probably taken an ethics class or had a conversation about values in plenty of different settings before. Just to remind us all about the difference between ethical and some personal values as a lot of people look at it. So ethical values, think about that right and wrong. Hopefully for all of us in this room, we all carry the same ethical values. Being leaders of integrity, being honest, no matter what the circumstances are, even when it maybe makes us look bad or when we could get an advantage if we weren't honest, whatever that looks like. Showing respect to people, no matter how different we are. All these things that you've heard before that I don't need to tell you as new things, but that I want you thinking about tonight as an opportunity to reflect on how are you actively thinking about these things. We talked at Auburn a lot about being intentional. How are you intentionally thinking about these things when you're in meetings with your teams in this room, when you're in the classroom, when you're in your personal life settings outside of that as well. And then personal values. These are a little more unique to each of us. And it's more about how we kind of prioritize and make judgments as to a direction that we're going to go with. You see some of mine up on the board there, ranked in order. Faith, family. I cheat a little bit and kind of putting 2 and 1 in a couple of these, as you can see, but serving people and showing compassion. Loyalty and thoroughness. So doing a job well and making sure that you finish it. Adventure and outdoor activity, just enjoying being outdoors. And then organization and cleanliness. Being organized with the gifts and the things that, and the responsibilities that are given to you. So those are some things that kind of guide the decisions that I make. And that looks different for each of you, different problems that may arise. And if you have not clarified in your mind what those priority values are for you, then you may respond to different situations differently. And that doesn't really communicate to the people that you're leading who you are as a leader. Because they see you respond in a different way because you have not clarified what those values are. And the best leaders are those that have clarified that have that direction that's consistent. Now, it doesn't mean your values can't change. I hope that they do over time because I hope you grow in experiences that continue to shape you. But thinking about how do your values impact your behaviors. If you'll go on. At the end there, different seasons of life. So all of you in this room, myself included, a lot of the values that you carry are probably shaped by family, where you came from, maybe the church that you grew up in, maybe the location that you grew up in, the people that you're around. And I hope that you continue to solidify those values that have been instilled in you up until this point. But the other thing that I hope is that as you, as I said a minute ago, meet new people, find yourself in new settings, enter into a new career, that some of those things are maybe challenged. For me, this looked like graduating from Auburn after growing up in Birmingham, Alabama. All of you are probably familiar with some of the similar bubbles that can come in that story. And for me, all of a sudden I'm teaching 7th graders, 85% Mexican-American population in Denver, Colorado, as a Teach for America teacher. And unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that that was the first time that I was really starting to think about clarifying my own values versus carrying values that my parents had instilled in me and that the environments that I've been in so far had instilled in me. And so I started to wrestle with some things. I'll give you one real example. You don't see necessarily patriotism as one of my values, even though I love the United States of America, but you do see showing compassion and serving others. So all of a sudden, I might have come from an environment that had some majority belief on illegal immigration, for example. And now I've got 85% Mexican-American students in my classroom that I'm expected to serve every day. How are my values going to shape how I respond to that situation? How am I going to prioritize and use my values to determine my behavior each day? So those are the things that I hope you guys wrestle with as you continue in this experience now, instead of waiting until you're in maybe a less bubble-like experience outside of that. You'll go on. So we talk about being intentional a lot, but a lot of times when I ask a student, when they say, let's be intentional, I ask them, what does that mean? And they often have a hard time giving me a tangible response to what that means. Kind of the opposite of being intentional. So tonight or this week, I want you to do 3 tangible things that will allow you to be like me, then you haven't necessarily gotten and sat down and written out on paper and ranked the values that you carry as a leader, that you carry as an individual, that you carry as an organization. So one of the coolest activities that I've seen to do this, somebody did with me at a conference this past summer. They gave us a blank bracket, just like a March Madness bracket, and a big old list that they had pulled off of Google of examples of personal values. We had to put on there on that bracket all the different values that were important to us, and then start to try to work our way down. Man, that was hard, because you value all these things. They're all great characters and qualities and things that you want to have, but at the end of the day, what are your elite eight? What are your top four, or your final four? And then what is your top value? How are you going to then use those when you face these situations where you're maybe tempted to compromise them, but you've got this list that's going to keep you on track, or that's going to keep your organization on track, your team on track. So I want you to draw out your own bracket, even if you think you know what your values are. Draw your own bracket, find some of the things that are important to you through some reflection, or through a Google list of values, and play that little game, and figure out how hard it is. And at the end of the day, what is more important to you than the others? The second thing I want you to do is reflect annually on what your values are at a minimum. One of the coolest things that I heard from a student in this room one time, years back, was that their family goes on an annual family vacation. It didn't really sound like a lot of vacation, because what they did is they sat around the living room and they all had to share with one another what their goals for the year were and what their values as a family were. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I would encourage you to do something like that in your life as well, so that each year you're kind of evaluating not only what are my values moving forward, but how have I been doing on living out the values that I preach to be carrying. And then lastly, in addition to making agreements with yourself, some of you may remember from Fall Retreat a couple weeks back, Bill Shannon coming and joining us and saying that the best teams have one thing in common, and that's agreements. Have those agreements with yourself about what your values are. Have those agreements with your teams about what your values are. But then lastly, who helped shape your values? Thank them profusely. That was the biggest phrase that I remember Bill saying that day, was thank people profusely. I was at a funeral today, and a couple others in this room were as well. And it's just always a reminder that we need to share with the people that have instilled those values in us up to this point. We need to thank them profusely and let them know how we feel about them. And I want to challenge you guys this week to do those three things. To make a bracket, to figure out what your values are, to encourage yourself to reflect annually, to clarify those values, and then lastly, to thank somebody this week that has shaped the values that you carry now. Thank you guys for the work that y'all are doing. It's been fun for me to work with BNF over the past couple weeks and pull together budgets. I'm happy to answer questions too if you're not able to reach one of them. But look forward to seeing how, as James was sharing, how we in this room continue to enhance the student experience through a lot of money that you guys have the responsibility to allocate. So challenge you guys to look through those budgets, ask them questions this week, and take that responsibility seriously. And again, thank you to Pearson for the work that he does, and we'll continue to do.
All right, I think that's it for announcements. So now we're gonna move into adjournment. So everybody grab your eye clickers and click out. Okay, just do that.
Carlos, can I ask a question real quick? Sorry, Tina here, Sam. When are we gonna be getting these budgets? Like, what day of the week or time estimate on that? Yeah, like, I know sometimes the minutes get sent out a little bit later in the week. I was just wondering when the budget's going to be presented so we can start looking over those for next week.
I was gonna ask after this meeting if I could get access to the budgets to send you all my emails and whatnot.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other business? Yeah, everybody. Any other business? All right, seeing none, this meeting is now adjourned.
It's like every single week.